Hey guys, it's me, John here. Ego, I don't know when he'll come back. I think I just don't know. I don't know if he'll come back at all. But still, I hope he does, so that way I don't have to keep making these types of videos anymore. Needless to say, welcome. I'm not gonna vent over Power Rangers nor rant about it. More likely, I'm gonna make like a little bit of that point view on the problem with Power Rangers. Now, I'm not talking about the president. I'm not talking about the present. I'm talking about the past. There are many reasons as to why Saban will take this down. And apparently, I used clips. Nope. No, I didn't. I used still images of each era. Let's continue, shall we? So, Power Rangers have been out there for millennia. Power Rangers have been out there since the 90s, apparently. But before the 90s, there was Super Sentai. And even then, never watched Super Sentai. I don't know why. Now, granted, though, this was my first time learning about, like, kaiju and stuff like that. More or less of what a kaiju is, like a rubber suit. So, Jesus Christ. The problem with Power Rangers is that it kind of feels a little bit too, say, goofy or outlandish. Needless to say, in the past. Not the present, the past. I'm only going in depth with the past. And yes, I am counting the 2010s Neo Saban era. So if you have any problems, please let me know. I don't have any direction on this one. Mostly counting the early 2000s as well, when Disney purchased Power Rangers for some reason. But yeah, still though. Needless to say, is that the Power Rangers in the past was kind of deemed a little racist in some way, shape, or form. Now, yes, this is a nitpick. Let me explain. Trinity, or Trini, or whatever that her name is, she is the Yellow Ranger. Asian. Racist. I don't know why, it just is. I honestly thought Trini was, like, at the very least Japanese, but no, she's actually just Chinese in some way, shape, or form. At least that's what I saw from the Wikipedia. I don't know, I could be wrong. Zack is black. Black Ranger. Kind of deemed racist. I don't know why. It just kind of is. But that's only the main issue for a lot of reasons. Also, I don't want to go over the whole Tommy Oliver as the Red Ranger in the other Power Rangers show. I don't know if it's Zeo or Turbo, but you tell me what it is. I do love Power Rangers as a kid. I remember as a kid, and we all remember as a kid. And to an extent, it's not really that far intensifying, whatever you call it, people. I never really understand most of the Power Ranger shows, like Mystic Force, RPM, SPN, or anything like that, for the early 2000s. Yes, I did grow up in the early 2000s, but I never really watched Power Rangers as a kid. Mind you, this was on ABC, or at the very least, like, something like ADC. Not Nick Jr., or anything like that. Well, not really Nick Jr., more like Nickelodeon in some way, shape, or form. So, yeah. I have no idea why I said Nick Jr. That was stupid of me. I'm a dumbass. Anyways, yes. Power Rangers has a specific problem when it comes down to the old generation and the new generation. For starters, Time Force is what people like. I watched Time Force a little bit, seen some clips, and it's not that good. While it has a really great plot, its characters really don't dive into it that often. I mean, yeah, the villain is awesome, but that's basically it. I don't know what to say. It's not goofy as, like, Grodd or whatever his name is. I think his name is, like, well, I'm not saying like Lord Zed or anything like that. I'm trying to remember his name. I remember his face. He was like has a blue face, red eyes, like golden armor. I think his name was like. You know what? I'll put it in post. It doesn't matter. I probably will edit this anyway. So, yeah, still though. Needless to say, there's always going to be that type of like bastardy, or at the very least, people that are man-child saying that Power Rangers dipped in quality. What do you mean by dipped in quality? It's just CGI. What are you mad about? Okay, I get it. The Power Rangers movie, it was a big hit. People loved it. I get it, but I'm not gonna lie, I kind of would rather watch Samurai and then like Dino Charge and maybe Turbo rather than doing all the old original stuff. Because again, we all know that people get pissed off with Samurai and Megaforce. There are many reasons why. I think they just try and try and savor the plot in some way, shape, or form. I'm not here to defend Samurai. I know a lot of people hate the show. I understand. But what about the other shows? What about like Beast Force or Dino Fury or anything like that? Jungle Fury, for the record. That's a good question. How people think about this is now. I think when it comes down to it, the only problem that most people see is the Disney era, where, it just doesn't feel right. It doesn't have that type of spark as the original did. No shit! Time Force was something original. You can't make that shit up. Also, I am aware that SPD exists, and RPM, and also Operation Overdrive, which I know, kind of crazy when you think about it. But I think most of the actors, I think the original actors for, Power Rangers, they like their time on the show. However, with Megaforce, with the new cast, yeah, that's basically different. I am not a fan of the old designs of Power Rangers in the early 2000s. While, yes, they do look awesome, I will admit that. I will give SPN, or RPM some credit. I will not give credit for anything else other than those two. That is it. Like, Turbo is good in its own way. Zeo is also good in its own direction. Lost Galaxy, and I think that's what they call it. Lost Galaxy? Lost in Space. I think that's what they call it. Yeah, Lost in Space and Galaxy. Those are the ones that I actually like the most. I.e., their original counterpart. But yeah, still though. Lord Zed is definitely a big favorite of mine. Well, used to be, until he returned, which is just kind of makes no sense. I mean, yeah, there are reasons why he returned in Beast Morphers, but then again, if I would want to watch Beast Morphers, I definitely would rip my ears off. But yeah, still though. There may be reasons as to why this would happen, or yeah. Now, let me go dive deep into some villains, not all of them. Some, I think. Rita Repulsa. What more can I say? I mean, she's a witch, and she's also crazy. I think she's malevolent and psychotic. But hey, that's what makes her fun, I guess. But I guess they kind of just got rid of her for the sake of, for the sake of these characters. I don't know what to say. I don't even remember that the villain in Samurai either. Again, I was a kid. Do not blame me. I was 6 years old when I watched this. Or at the very least, I think I was 6. I probably was 5. But yeah, still though, I think I was 6 years old when I watched this. I think when it comes down to what Power Rangers could have been, Power Rangers have really settled down to its own potential in some way, shape, or form. And yes, I have heard that people say that Dino Fury and Jungle Fury are the best ones, which, or at least I don't think it's called Dino Fury. I think it's called Cosmic Fury. Yeah, they call it Cosmic Fury. Yeah, never mind. I'm sorry. Overall, I mostly just am a fan of the Blue Ranger, mostly because he's just a related character when he wants to be. Yes, there have been some female Blue Rangers before, and honestly, that's just kind of a little bit sexist. But hey, I understand the mix up. But then you also have like, the special Blue Rangers as well. Maybe like Kevin and Billy. I mostly like those two Blue Rangers, and they're definitely my favorites. Even if one of them can be a little bit strict and a little bit outdated. Okay, I understand the mix up. No no harsh feelings here. We all have our opinions. But yeah, still though. I think when it comes down to it, Ranger. Oh my god. But yeah, still though. Not a lot of people talk about Power Rangers anymore. Well, at the very least, not a bunch. I'm pretty sure Linkara and maybe a few others talk about Power Rangers, but as of now, of 2025, you don't really see that many people talk about Power Rangers. They mostly talk about this type of anime, and that's it. Or original animation, whichever you prefer. But yeah, Pokemon. Oh my god, what a big fun. Alright, so let me just dive deep a little bit into more of the Power Rangers lore, in case you don't figure it out. So apparently Rita Repulsa was freed, and her minions, like, went on a ship or part of the moon or something, and she pretty much, like, makes, like, these types of power things, like these putties. And then she also has monsters. But here's the thing, though. H Monster of the Week. It's cool. I'll admit it. It's fine. I don't know. I always compare it to Sailor Moon, which is not a good afterthought. But yeah, overall, I will always prefer Power Rangers over the strict and diabolical animes that there already have been. Yes, I understand that there's not a lot to take in and that there's not a lot of story when it comes down to it. But hey, it just is what it is. But yeah, still though, like Rita Repulsa, she just is evil for the sake of trying to take over the world. Like she's conquering Earth. Like what's next? Are you gonna conquer every planet you see after Earth? I think that's what her original plan was until she was kicked off the show and was replaced with so many other villains. I like Grid. I will admit, Grid is a good character. He's relatable, and he's also a bounty hunter. Which you all know, bounty hunter villains are cool. You can never forget about Boba Fett. Yeah, but still though, I think Grid is a bounty hunter. I don't know. Either way, I've already said my piece. So, what do you guys think? Do you think that Power Rangers has a few problems that I didn't talk about? Let me know in the comments down below and tell me what you think. I would like to hear your opinions on what you think about Power Rangers as of now.